Hey everyone, this is Mindy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how to create backgrounds in minutes, and we are going to create a lot of backgrounds. If you love the look of ink blending but you struggle with it no matter how many times you've tried it, this video is for you because you're going to be able to create some very smooth blended backgrounds with very little trouble at all. So I'll start by showing you how to create those beautiful blends, and then I'm going to step those backgrounds up a notch. To do these backgrounds, I'm going to be using the gel press. Now mine is about a 5x7, and I took the plastic coverings off of it, and it's going to stick to any surface that I have here. I am using a Misty tool so I can move this around, and I also placed a piece of white paper inside the Misty so you can see the colors as I'm applying them. I'm also going to be using a rubber brayer. Mine is the 4-inch one, and I have a bunch of cardstock cut up already to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I am starting with lime green ink, and these are the Hero Arts ink pads. Then I'm adding a strip of Aquatic, and then I will bring in grape juice. Now I am only using one edge of the ink pad, and I'm dragging that across my gel press. Then I'm going to take my rubber brayer and I'm going to roll this back and forth across that gel press, and this is going to blend those colors. I also kind of shift up a little bit, so I'm bringing those colors up into each other to kind of blend those. Now off on the side there I have a piece of scrap cardstock, and I'm just going to rub off any excess ink. This is great because that can be used for a background too. Then I'm taking another piece of one of the pre-cut papers I have, laid that on top of the gel press. I'm bringing in a piece of copy paper and just pressing down all over. Then I can remove that copy paper and peel up this cardstock, and we have this gorgeous smooth blend. Absolutely perfect. So without cleaning my press or my roller, I put those colors down again, blended them with that brayer, and now this time I'm bringing in the Art Deco Lotus Stencil, and I'm going to place this right on top. Then I'm bringing in a piece of cardstock. Now these are the Dove White cardstock from Hero Arts, and I'm going to put that copy paper back on top, and I'm going to press down really good all around. I want to make sure I'm really getting in between all of those stencil lines. Then I can peel up my copy paper and peel up the background, and check that out. I have that great impression of the stencil. Now we're not done yet. I'm going to pick up that stencil, bring in another piece of cardstock, the copy paper again, press that down, and I have another background. So I am creating multiple backgrounds in literally just minutes. And now before I switch colors, here is that scrap piece of paper that I have off on the side that I was rubbing that excess ink off of. So this is another background that I can use. Now I did clean off my gel press. I wiped it down with water, or if I needed to do a stamp cleaner, and just wiped it clean really, really good. The other thing I want to point out now is that, especially that yellow, I am picking up a little bit of any residue that's left on that background. So you're going to see that some of my ink pads have some discoloring on it, and I'll show you what I do to clean that up in a little bit. So now these cards, I am using Dandelion, Rose Madder, and Mulled Wine, and this is such a stunning blend. Look at that. It's like airbrushed. It is so perfect. So once again, I'm repeating, adding that color onto the gel press, going over it with that rubber brayer, and then this time I'm bringing in the Butterfly Garden red rubber stamp, and this is just going to blow your mind. It is so gorgeous. So I'm literally stamping this down onto my gel press. Then I'm going to carefully remove that stamp because I don't want to smear anything. And then I'm going to take a piece of cardstock and that copy paper again and press down. Now I did try and put cardstock over the stamp itself, but it was really, really light. It didn't really leave an impression. But this piece of cardstock, it literally looks like I embossed it without having any raised edges. It is beautiful, and all the detail transferred through. Now, as I was doing these backgrounds, I did do multiples off screen of some of the colored backgrounds just so I had a bunch. So here's everything that I created in just a few minutes. I have all these different colored backgrounds. I have some with stamped images, some with a stencil, so lots of great possibilities. Now, you can create cards out of just this, but I'm going to step each one of these up a little bit. So this is all purely optional and just really a lot of fun. For this first background, I have here the butterfly circle stencil, and I'm holding that down with some Post-it tape onto my card front. Any one of the card fronts would work on this. And then I'm taking those exact colors that I had used to do that background. So this was lime green, aquatic, and grape juice. Now see, here is where I had some discoloration on my ink pad. So I'm wiping that away with a cloth. So if you're concerned about it, that's something to just take into consideration if you don't like having your ink pad stained. But honestly, I don't use the very edge of my stamp or my stamp ink pad anyway when I'm doing stamping, so I wasn't really concerned about it. Now I'm just picking up that color and using a foam blending tool, and I'm blending on these colors kind of right over the area of where they were. I am being a little mindful not to get the purple into the green because those two won't mix together very well. That's why I have the blue in between to kind of break that up a little bit. I know the blue will work well with the purple and that lime green. And then I can peel back my stencil and I have one of my first backgrounds ready to go for sentiments. So off screen, I went ahead and cleaned my stencil off, and I'm going to use it on another background. I held it down once again with Post-it tape, and this time I am applying Iridescent Glitz Glitter Gel. I was dying to just add some sparkle to these butterflies. I'm not really worried about the center because I have a feeling I'll cover it up later on with a sentiment. So this I'll set off on the side to dry for a little while. And one more with this butterfly circle because I love this stencil. This background has that rose or that butterfly garden in the background, and I am just lightly ink blending on the rose madder ink all around that background. And this background is almost like an illusion. It's just so great how it came out. So it's almost like we kind of trapped everything under there. A lot going on, but very subtle. And it's a one layer piece right now. So another thing we can do to kind of step up our backgrounds a little bit is I have the script bold print put into my Misty. And I'm taking one of those backgrounds. I have a little bit of adhesive on the back, and I like to place my cardstock on the stamp and then flip my Misty over. And now this time I was going to heat emboss the sentiment, but I decided to go with soft brown ink. And I'm so glad I went with this because this looks great on this background. I'm just stamping that script background down. And then I stamped it upside down. So make sure you have your script in there the right way. But I love how that came out. And I love how some of the areas I didn't press down good enough. So it's kind of splotchy. Kind of has that, I don't know, vintage look to it. So I'm doing that one more time on kind of my pink background. And it's just adding something subtle to that background. I almost had a hard time covering all of that up. Now I'm just going to walk you through how I completed these cards. So this was one of the backgrounds that was just straight brayered, and I added the Sun and Waves fancy window die on top of it. So it makes a great background if you want to make some scenes. Then I just have a simple sentiment at the bottom of the card from the Hello There stamp and die set. For this card where I have the ink blended butterfly circle stencil, I just added a simple die cut sentiment. This is thanks, and this is from the Happy Thanks Stamp and Cut XL set. And I die cut it once from holographic and a couple times from black cardstock. And I shifted that holographic one over a little bit so you can kind of see a shadow of the black cardstock. The card where I have the iridescent glitz glitter gel on the back, I also kept really simple. Here's a close-up look at just some of that gorgeous glitz glitter gel in the background. I also have the Hello There die cut 3 times from black cardstock and once from a white pearlescent cardstock. And this comes from the Hello There stamp cut XL set. So you have the coordinating die and then lots of great sub-sentiments to go with it. So this next card, I'm really excited how it turned out. So this is one of the backgrounds that I brayered, and I had stamped that script word on the background in the soft brown ink. I have the Hello There die cut once from white cardstock and 3 times from black cardstock, and I shifted the white layer over a little bit to kind of show a shadow area. And then at the bottom, I have the new City Heroscape. So I have that layered up the bottom, and I really just love how that looks with that scripty background. Really kind of has that New York feel. If you're a Hamilton fan like I am, this really reminds me of it. So I really love how that turned out. This one I had created with the Art Deco Lotus stencil, and I just simply die cut the word you from the Love You Stamp Cut XL stamp set and added the sentiment Are Amazing underneath. And I also added some colors or some enamel dots with coordinating colors to my background. Another brayered background I added that butterfly circle stencil with the same colors that I had brayered on there. So very similar to the previous card I had. And this one just has the happy die cut out in white and black cardstock layered together again, and the sentiment at the top, and that is from the Happy Thanks Stamp Cut XL set. Now you'll notice a lot of these I am just simply adding sentiments to because the backgrounds were so easy to do, and just adding that little bit of stenciling really does a lot. So this one is adding the Big Hugs die cut word, and then sentiment underneath that I just stamped in intensified black ink, and that is from the Big Hugs Stamp Cut XL set. One of the backgrounds where I had stamped that butterfly garden onto the gel press so it gave kind of almost like that embossed resist look, I trimmed that panel down and just added that strip to the bottom of a white card base, and I added that thanks on top, and that is from the Thanks Happy Stamp Cut XL set with that sentiment stamped underneath. Okay, last card for you today is one of the backgrounds that I had brayered on with those pinks and the yellow, and I have that script background stamped in the soft brown ink, and I die cut from white cardstock through the Woods Fancy Window die, and I have a piece of acetate behind there lined with some foam, and then I glued the Hello There die cut word on top of that acetate. So this very easily could have been turned into a shaker card, but I didn't want to distract from that pretty background behind my Hello There. I don't normally make this many cards in a video, but I just had a lot of fun making these backgrounds. It was just so quick and easy to do. I really hope you'll give this technique a try. If you enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate it if you gave a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel and be sure to hit the little bell notification so you're notified when new videos are posted. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.